I know you're not tech savvy, but you want to create your reels, your YouTube shorts, TikTok. And here's the deal. CapCut has been amazing, but there's something about the computer that makes it 100 times faster for me personally. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I've been using to create my reels, TikTok, and a few tips that I have been using in order for me to repurpose and make my videos have a longer lifetime, not just for TikTok, not just for Instagram. If you're like me, I've been resistant to using the fancy stuff, Premiere Pro, what else? I don't even know the names. Until I get an editor, this is what we're gonna be doing. It's called Descript, and I've been using it since before it was an editing software. Actually was my transcriber. They have completely improved the way that their software works. Think about editing as a document. Learned a very easy way to edit, which is pause. And every single pause means something new is starting. I'm recording a YouTube or a TikTok or something, and then I pause, hold what I'm doing, and when I edit, it works. That way I'm not rambling and saying ums, ifs, and all of that. I've been able to get so much more content out on my computer. And hey, listen, I still love my CapCut, but let me show you how you can use Descript even if you have zero tech skills, you're a busy entrepreneur, creator, aspiring entrepreneur. Let me take you to my computer so I can show you. Let's create a TikTok/reel. Go to new project, video project, and it's going to be a blank screen just like this. So you can upload the file, record it right in-house in the app. But because we already have it, this is how you're going to do it. I recorded it from my phone the other way. I'm going to show you how to make it into a reel and all the cool AI tools to help me edit this super quickly. First things first, right here, I'm going to change the aspect, meaning I'm going to make it into like a TikTok size. So that's called portrait. Once I do that, all I have to do is zoom it into a TikTok size. So that's why I went a little bit farther so you can see my entire body. I'm actually going to make it a little closer. It's time to glow up, but it's not. So the bad thing about me is that I move so much. So I move off camera like this. So I have to constantly move myself, which I'll show you what I can do as far as like editing. Not the way that you think. I'm not talking about your physical. I'm not talking about your weight. I'm talking about mentally going up. If you take a look at this file, I ranted for almost 6 minutes. So what we're gonna do is chop everything up. If you want to actually see what your file looks like, you can see it right here on the bottom where it says timeline, and you can see all of those gaps, pauses that I had, and they're purposeful, but it's so easy to do. You don't have to go in and manually split it and manually remove it. All you have to do, drum roll, you go into underload, which is like your little Descript AI tool, and then you say shorten word gaps. That's all you're gonna do. So take a look at, it's 5:44. Look how short it's gonna get. Shorten all word gaps. I usually like to do 0.1 seconds, and then I just put shorten all. So there you go. 3 minutes and 22 seconds immediately took off 2 minutes, which is insane. Almost 3 minutes. Let's see what it looks like now. It's time to glow up, but it's not the way that you think. I'm not talking about your... Remember there was like a little space, not the way that you think. I'm not talking about your physical. Absolutely love that. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to make this a little brighter. The lighting is a little bit off because this wall across from me, there's like a yellow building. It is what it is, but what I like to do is I go to effects, and then on the effect file, you can change your color. Now, is this a little way too fancy? Perhaps, but let's say that you made a video in the car and it's way too dark. You can change the color to it. Now, while editing this, I want to make it very clear that the best way for you to get a really good video is good lighting. So I suggest stand in front of a window or have a selfie light. But if it's like worst case scenario, you need to get this video out, then this is a good way to change up the color as a new beginner. I'm gonna go to color adjustment and see what I need to do to make it a little brighter. I don't have a system for this. I'm sorry. Remember, I'm not a videographer or photographer. I just gotta see what looks a little decent. It's a little brighter. Perfect. So the next thing I'm gonna do is the sound. Sounds like I didn't turn on the mic. It is what it is. So I'm gonna fix it inside Descript. Super simple. All you're gonna do is go to audio effects. You're out here, you go to effects, audio effects. It's going to be studio sound. Just sounds a little bit more podcasty. So let's hear the before and after of the studio effect. So this is the before. It's time to glow up, but it's not the way that you think. I'm not talking about your physical. I'm not talking about your weight. This is the after with the studio sound. It's time to glow up, but it's not the way that you think. I'm not talking about your physical. I'm not talking about your weight. Only downside I see about studio sound, I only use it if it's bad. Sometimes it sounds a little muffled if you are speaking and there's a lot of like that, and that's how I talk. So unfortunately for me, it doesn't work all the time, but it's way better. So let me show you again what it looked like before. I'm not talking about your weight. I'm talking about mentally glowing up. There is a huge difference, and I'm just gonna keep it for the sake of this video. So we have a little bit of visual, a little bit of audio. I hope you're enjoying this. Let me know in the comments how you are liking this tutorial. I would love to continue making tutorials if that's something that you would be interested. There are so many different buttons and things that I'm exploring on Descript. I love you, Descript, so much. Let's get back to the video. Honestly, just that alone, you can take this video and put it on all of the platforms with their own fonts, with their own captions. The video can be done here, but I'm gonna show you how I like to edit, because sometimes we're repeating ourselves over and over. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make an 18-second video into the shortest possible video. It's time to glow up, but it's not the way that you think. Not the way that you think. I'm going to make it even shorter. The way that you think. I'm not right here. I'm going to make this a little bit more zoomed out. And the way that you do that is you create another scene. So you just put a slash, and that means that I can edit it differently than the rest. It's time to glow up. Okay, so it's not the way that you think. I'm not talking about your physical. I'm not talking about I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not talking about your physical, and then again I say I'm not talking about. I'm going to remove that, and look how easy it is to edit. I'm not talking about. I'm going to delete it, and I'm just going to put a comma. So look how good it looks. I'm not talking about your physical, your weight, your weight. So look here. About is way too much space, so I'm gonna do that. About needs to be another scene, so let's take a look. I'm not talking about your physical, your weight. I'm talking about mentally glowing up. Mentally glowing up, I want it to be a whole scene. There you go. And that will trickle down into everything else. Else has way too much pause. I'm actually gonna erase the whole sentence. All right, I already took off 4 seconds. Okay, let's see the last sentence. And that will trickle down into everything else. Past 2 months of getting your life together all started very selfishly. That still makes sense. Now let's add some fonts if you really want to. Like I said, you could take this and just put it over on your socials, but we're going to take it another step. Go to scene. So you go to scene, you go to browse all, and there's so many cool options. They already have that template for you. When you click on the captions, it's going to give you that option. Maybe blue is not your color, so change it. I have this already because that's just part of my brand color, hot pink. The cool thing is that let's say you do pick pink and you don't want it that bright, you can just make it less. This is like a template from them. If you don't want this, just erase it. I like it, so I'm just gonna keep it. Into everything else. Past 2 months of getting your life together all started very selfishly. I love it. Honestly, I might even use this for my own. It looks so cute. By the way, you don't have to do all the different zooms. This is just a preference, but it's definitely not necessary. Although for the purposes of this video, it did take a pretty long time, I'm gonna show you what it actually took. Let's start editing it. 11:48. Let's see how long it could take me to edit this entire video. I got it to 11:59. It's all edited. I took everything out. It's down to 1:45, and I could leave it like this and just put it on TikTok, but I'm not going to. I'm going one more step further, okay? I'm gonna try to get it to 1:30. Let's see how long that takes. It's 12:30, and yeah, it took too long, but in my defense, I made you 2 versions of the video. I made a 10-minute version, and then I made one that personally, when I want to and I feel creative, I do, but this is not my requirement. I like to have fun, but I also want to set the standard to my audience that not every single video is going to be flashy and screenshots and all of that. With that being said, here's the end result. Fancy version and very simple yet effective way of editing your video with Descript. It's time to glow up, but it's not the way that you think. Mentally glowing up, and that will trickle down into everything else. results. Past 2 months, getting your life together started very selfishly. July, I decided to start running. Over 30 pounds overweight, messing with my mental, my marriage, my parenting, relationships, a lot of fog, making different decisions in my business. I could not figure out why. Watched a video talking about how you could prep for a marathon in 1 month. Then my husband telling me how once I get my health in place, when you master your health and wellness, you will be able to master everything else in your life. I wanted to get it together. Then I went on a walk. Next day, I have really slow jog. Day after that, longer, really slow jog. 5K, 5 miles. Turned into 7 miles, which turned into a half marathon in 3 months. Sometimes you wait until next year, 6 months, 12 months, but you are capable of doing things in a much shorter amount of time, but that takes work. Who made us be scared of work? The very first time I went on my health journey, it got me the results. And it also got me results in my very first network marketing business. I thought that was normal. Hit all of these levels and make $100,000. So let's make it normal. The glow up comes when you master your mind. It's never going to be 100%, but externally you start glowing up. I don't know about you, but 2025, I want the excitement when you first start dating your husband. That is the excitement that I want in my business too. That's why we're taking this glow up to the next level. So when it comes to repurposing my videos, I try to make them less than a minute so I can put them everywhere. For TikTok specifically, my videos perform better when they're more than 3 minutes. That's just my personal opinion, but I want my content to be as repurposed as possible. For example, this video right here, it's about 2 minutes and I kept it that way. For Instagram, I made it 1.5 minutes because it has to be less than 90 seconds. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I do prefer shorter reels over on Instagram. Now, I noticed that I wanted this series, I wanted this to be less than a minute. So I didn't have any filler words. These videos, when I tell you they were straight to the point, they had to be under 60 seconds because even if it's 60.1, it'll automatically mark it more than 60 seconds and I won't be able to post it on YouTube. I want to keep that in mind that not every single video will be able to be posted, but I try to edit. If I'm going to repurpose them to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, then I try to keep them to 1.5 minutes. And if I really do want to post it over on YouTube, then I need to make it under 60 seconds. And that's another reason why my font is starting to be neutral too. It's a font that's not super pink, it's easy to read, and I could still add the font that I need to if necessary. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. In the next video, we'll be talking a little bit more about batching and essential videos that you need. You can make your content creation simple. Whether you are a personal trainer, content creator, coach, network marketer, this is going to be for you. So I'll see you in the next video.